Welcome back to the SME Soup podcast, and today's a very special episode as we are celebrating International MSME Day. We are marking the occasion with the launch of Rakbank's new female entrepreneur package, designed to empower and support women-led businesses to start, to grow, and to scale. To bring this to life, I'm joined by three inspiring entrepreneurs, Claire Louvet, Oraib Kazimi, and Nada Al Awadhi, for a live panel discussion from today's event. So join us on today's special episode of the SME Soup podcast. Good evening. Welcome to the podcast.
Good evening.
Hi.
So we're here to talk about your amazing businesses, but let's start at the beginning. What was the first moment when you stopped talking about your idea and really moved into the execution of the business?
Yeah, so we started with family, and then when I first launched the business, we launched it at Tribe Market. So that's where we got to meet families, parents, kids, got them to really taste it, try it. From there, we saw how people liked it. They came back. We started getting recurring customers. So it just validation, and we went for it.
Amazing. And how about yourself?
So actually, I didn't have that idea. I never thought I was going to be an entrepreneur. Clean beauty for me was a kind of a personal thing that I was convinced for like my own usage. And then when I moved to Dubai, I became pregnant. Had a really difficult time finding products I wanted to use for myself. So started bringing back suitcases of it for me. And then I discovered that other people around me wanted them as well. So bringing them back for them. And then one day I was doing physiotherapy, rehab after my first pregnancy. And my physiotherapist was also into clean beauty. We got on chatting and she told me, I'm so happy I found this shampoo. It's clean for my daughter finally. And I am usually the party pooper who tells people, actually, it's not really clean. So I told her, I'm excited, like, just show me. So I look at the bottle, flip it, look at the ingredients, and it was just really good marketing, unfortunately. And this is when she told me, man, like, I just want to enter a store. I know that it's been checked. I don't have to worry whether it's clean or not, and I can just buy. And when she said those words, this is when I thought, okay, I'll do that. Because I've been doing it anyway. I can do it. And I cannot find what I want here in Dubai, so I'll build it. And this is how it started. So it's not like I had that idea for a long time. Yeah.
And how about yourself?
Mine was also quite a journey. So I went from starting my first business, which was a book subscription called The Bookshelf, bilingual Arabic and English. It did very well, but not enough for me to expand. So I was overworked, tired, and at one point I was pregnant. So I had to slow down the business. So I had to like pause the subscription, put it on hold, and just focus on myself, focus on my kids, focus on the pregnancy. And then my sister, who's my partner right now, came to me with a golden check, and she's like, Nada, let's start a spin studio together.
A golden check, sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Long story. But she came to me and she was like, I was always interested in the fitness industry. I had the business background. And when she talked to me about like spinning, she was passionate about it, going to another studio in Abu Dhabi, but too far away from her. She talked to me about it and complained about the distance. I'm like, okay, start your own studio. And then so one day she came to me with the check, 7 months pregnant. I was 7 months pregnant. And she's like, Nada, let's start a spin studio together. Instead of saying, no, I'm slowing down at the moment, I said, yes, let's do it. And the past was history. And here we are today, 1.5 years.
But why
later.
specifically a spin studio?
Because she was passionate. She was passionate about the sports. I was passionate about sports too. And I tried it and I really liked it. I liked the dark room, the coaches coaching you not just to perform, but also going like deeper into your personality. It's just like the adrenaline, the sports, the fitness part, but also the coaching part. I tried it and I thought it was a really valid idea. And we have demand for it in Abu Dhabi, so we studied it. I remember I told her yes, and the first thing we did, we both got certified as instructors to understand the back ends of the business, and we did it. We didn't tell anyone. We started working on the licensing and everything in the back end until it was like we had the business license. I think my mom found out by mistake, like by coincidence, just finding the memorandum of understanding of the documents. It's like, yes. We didn't tell anyone until it was like done.
Oh, these are such great stories, right? And founders, from companies that we speak to, individuals, entrepreneurs, they're struggling to find that one idea. All of these things have come from either homegrown areas such as yourself or problem areas such as yourself. What advice do you think you could provide founders who are struggling to find that one key idea and to launch their business from that? It's an open question, so you can jump in.
Someone who wants to have a business but doesn't know what to do?
Yeah. Say that they're working a full-time job, they know that they want to do something on their own, but they've got 1,000 ideas. How do you silo down that idea?
I know this sounds very cliche, but like find a pain point or solve a problem. For us, when we worked on Spin Up, we really designed it for ourselves. We built it for ourselves. We wanted something that would cater to us, that would cater to our community, basically built from Abu Dhabi for Abu Dhabi. And we still do that with everything. With every decision that we make, we consider like the clients before we make that decision. So really solve a problem, because if you have a great service or a great problem, but you're not solving a problem for anyone, no one is going to buy from you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's so fascinating that actually none of you actually wanted to be entrepreneurs initially, no?
I never thought I'd end up being an entrepreneur. I worked on the investor side of things throughout my career, and I just never thought there was a problem. I couldn't find the solution for it. I'm like, let's do it.
It's such all of your stories are so inspiring for people that may be, working and happy and productive lives and families and stuff, but there's that one thing niggling in the back of their minds saying, I could fix that. This must be a problem for other people. Why is nobody doing it? And then, as you say, right, the next step is just to leap, to jump into that market. Okay, so people usually see the success of a business on Instagram, on social network. They see all of the glamour, but they don't see the pain and the struggle. Claire, what was the first year of business like, and what were some of the struggles that you overcame?
I had that idea that I know a lot of clean brands. So I was going to go to them, mainly in Europe, in France, tell them, hey, I want to bring you to Dubai. I want to sell you there because there is a place in the market for you to take. So I was literally going to them, telling them, I'm giving you my money. Please take it so I can take your products. So for me, that was the easy part. I knew so many brands. I had so many ideas of what was going to be on the website. And then when I started reaching out, it was actually complicated. And I had conversations that took months and that led nowhere. So, and I'm glad I didn't know that before starting, actually. But this was the hard part, is actually creating the offering that I had in mind for the people here is actually way harder than I thought it would be.
And what was your thought process to try to get through that?
First of all, I think I'm the annoying person who keeps, reminding them I exist from time to time. And I found a few brands that loved the project and agreed to be on board. And then actually I pivoted to looking at what exists locally, what I couldn't find by myself before, as a person just looking for products online. And I actually ended up finding a few brands that were already here that helped me launch. And I also, for example, recently found a brand that is made in the UAE that is launching here. And I'm actually super happy to promote local brands. I still aim to bring some brands from Europe here. I think having a mix would be ideal, but if I can help local businesses here, it's even better. So it actually gave me that space to do that instead of just bringing things that already exist out there.
Oh, wow. Okay. And Nada, in a spinning studio, what were some of the challenges?
Was a lot of challenges, chaotic. Like any brick and mortar business or like a physical business.
Space. The correct space.
Finding the right space, with the right clientele and audience to target, and then trying to get the design ready, working with the consultants, and then the contractors, finding the right contractor, and then actually making sure your idea comes to life, and all of the problems and the issues that come along. And then having your sister as a partner and trying to navigate your relationships together.
They say never do business with family, no?
They say, but I think this one made us stronger. I mean, as sisters and for the business, I don't think I would have lasted as long with anyone else.
Oh, wow. That's lovely.
Yes. For me, I did it twice. I did it alone with the bookshelf and then with my sister this time. I think if I had someone to help me with the bookshelf, I wouldn't have been as exhausted and ended up where it ended. So we are a stronger team for our community, for Spin Up, for our employees and coaches. But yeah, navigating that the first year was also a challenge because thankfully, alhamdulillah, yani we have a strong relationship as sisters, and that's why we wanted to do this together because we knew we could handle it, but it was not easy. So we had to navigate that thin line between like, okay, now we're sisters, now we're partners. We need to separate that.
Where do you draw that line? Dinner time, 8 p.m.?
See, that's the challenge we needed to work around. But eventually we got better at it. Now we just like pick up because at the beginning it was challenging, but now we pick up on each other's cues. We know when to separate things. Okay, this is like our time. This is business time. This is when we finish and make all of our decisions. We sit down and we get it done. Obviously, things come up and like you try to solve problems as you go, like entrepreneurs always do. But we did work around it, and now we work better for it.
Amazing. And Albert, how about you in the snack business?
At the end of the day, I'm trying to build a product that is supposed to go on shelves and compete with other brands.
Well, there's thousands, right? It must be very difficult.
How
do you differentiate yourself there?
How do you differentiate yourself? How do you build your brand name? I have a community that I started with. I have a community that supports the brand, and it's a growing one, and it's taking us to places. And we've come a long way where we are today. It's yeah. So it's definitely it's an ongoing challenge.
Well, running a business is a continuous challenge, right? How do you structure your time then? Between the business, it's an interesting point to sort of pivot off yours, which is you've got lives, you've got families.
I'm not gonna lie, and at the beginning it's very messy. The first year was very messy, especially with a newborn, and we started working on Spin Up when I was pregnant. I gave birth while we were building the
Perfect
business.
timing to start a business.
Perfect timing. So, but the first year I used to work at night when the kids are asleep, because that's the only time I could work. So I, like, for months, I would only sleep like a couple of hours, prioritizing everyone and everything but myself. But then it got easier as the team grew bigger, as the community grew bigger, as we brought in more clients and more attention and our revenue stabilized. I started handing over the responsibilities to other people. That's when I managed to get some of the time back. Last week was the first time I have a vacation in like 3 years.
Really?
Without the kids. It's the first time I traveled without the kids since like 5 years.
Wow.
So
That's
it was
some
the first
level of
time where
commitment.
for the past 4 years where I completely disconnected, and I really needed that. But like that's the reality of running your own business.
Yeah, that's the thing. You get the flexibility of choosing what you want to do, hopefully doing what you love.
No bosses.
No boss.
Unless you have investors, in which case, you have to navigate
Exactly.
those guys.
And also then when does work stop and when does personal life start, it's actually quite blurry. I mean, I know for me right now I'm working weekends. Right now it's the summer, everybody's talking about their vacation plan. I'm like, yes, my laptop is my vacation plan. So, and I think it's as long as you still enjoy, and I'm still happy to do that, and I don't see it as a chore or something that I really I'm scared of doing and I don't want to open my laptop, then I think it's okay. But exactly, when's the fine line of making sure you take care of yourself, making sure you sleep? Personally, I cannot, right now I don't sleep because of my kids who are very young, and I cannot work at night. I would love to. But at 9 p.m. on my computer, I know I'm not going to do the quality of the work that I want to provide. So it's just not an option, which makes it very challenging.
Just have the AI agents working in the night, and then you can do the work during the day.
HR department, yeah.
The AI has actually been a game changer. I don't know for you, but I never thought 2 years ago when I thought, okay, I'm going to start a business. LLMs were barely a thing back then. And now Claude is a full-time employee.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
Yeah, it's amazing, actually.
Being able to set up agents and co-work that do different skills and different skill sets. So you could have a HR agent, or you could have an engineering agent, front-end, design. Anything is possible now. We're in a completely different world than we were a year ago.
Much more cost-effective as well. If you think about the stuff that we needed to outsource, doing it now through AI is very efficient.
It's really interesting to learn about the challenges that we've gone through as individuals. How did you identify was the first point where you needed to hire an individual? Was that in the first year? Was it in the first months? How did you each navigate that?
I had to hire someone from the start because I wasn't going to spend my time in production. Okay. It's a food business at the end of the day, and so much had to be done outside of the kitchen. So I had to hire someone right from the start.
How did you go about finding the right talent then? Because in business, you have a HR department, you write a job description, you say, go find me somebody, and then you interview, right? But and that's still hard. But if you're on your own starting a business, you got nobody to call on.
You got nobody, but you just have to do it all on your own. Just like the lady said, you wear the multiple hats that you do, and one of them is HR, something that Claude can't help you with sometimes. So I went about interviewing a number of people. I found someone I liked, who I felt comfortable with, and I gave her a chance, and she is with me until today, and I'm very proud of having her on my team.
So Claire, do you think being a female entrepreneur and founder has provided opportunities in the way that you set up your company, or in the UAE in particular?
Yes, I think actually Dubai has been amazing for that. It's very dynamic, and you have a lot of great networks. Actually, the offering is, there's probably way too many networks. And Crunchmom, for example, is the network that I joined, and it provides this amazing community of women that supports you, whether it's because you're a mom and you just want to connect with fellow moms, or you want to build something. They can also put you in touch with founders who are more advanced on the journey. And for that, I think it's amazing. Like, being a woman gives you access to those networks. And I really personally like it. It brought me a lot. And this is why I'm here today, actually.
How did you find Crunchmoms?
If I remember well, on my feeds, Instagram worked really well. I think they just popped, and I saw them a few times. I was like, I should go. It's one of those things that I regret not going to sooner. I was like, this is something I should do. This is something I should do. And then I think I postponed it a bit too long. But one day I actually made it to one of those networking events, and I've been a member ever since.
Community is so important, right? And it's a narrative that's been prevalent in all of the episodes that we've had, right? It's particular to the UAE. So if you go back to the UK, there are co-working spaces and there are like events that happen in hotels and things, but nothing on the scale that the UAE is doing. Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and all of the other Emirates as well. These big communities of just like-minded individuals wanting to start businesses. How have you found, engaging with these communities, Nada? How has that helped you along?
Definitely a big plus. I mean, I also have been a Crunchmoms member since 2021, and at the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey, it was very lonely. So talking to other entrepreneurs and learning about their challenges, what is working for them, what's not working for them, before I hired a team or we grew the company. This was the previous business. It was very lonely. So having that support and learning about different tools that otherwise you would not have learned about was very powerful for sure. And the setup in the UAE definitely encourages entrepreneurs to go after their ideas. But then also, when you start a business that's community centered, like Spin Up, and focus on building that momentum, they definitely people notice and come back to you. For us as a business, for example, the past year has been very challenging. And at one point we felt like, okay, this is it. We will definitely not get through this. But we did, because we persevered. And then the community, when we stayed consistent with them, they stayed consistent with us. So having the infrastructure that's set up in the UAE helped us as a business for sure, to not only create our own business communities where we support each other as female founders or as businesses, but also we support our clients, and then our clients support us back. So it's a very nice
It's a self-sustaining
circle.
system.
Yes, for sure.
That's really good. And you mentioned that you've been with Crunchmoms for quite some time now. How have they helped you?
They are so active. They are the number of things that we are just doing over this past month, or I can't keep up with my calendar. But yeah, so it's great exposure. You learn a lot. You learn a lot through them and with them, and connection.
No, it's so important for businesses or people starting new businesses to be part of a community, right, and feel supported. I think the UAE does that amazingly, and no other jurisdiction that certainly I've ever been into. So I think some of the questions that we receive from people wanting to start a business in the UAE is that the UAE landscape seems a bit complicated. There are multiple trade license authorities. They're in different jurisdictions. They allow different things when you're starting a company. How easy is it to do business in the UAE from your perspective, and how was it setting up your businesses for the first time?
I think it was a very easy and smooth journey. they've set it up in a way where anyone can really come in. I mean, particularly for residents, we live here, so it was very easy for me to set up a company, open a bank account, hire employees, renew, go on with the life. Everything is easy. Everything is digital. You've got help. You've got support. It's been a great experience.
Amazing. And Claire, what about yourself?
I went the route of hiring a consultant. I actually happened to, in one of those networking events, meet someone who specialized into cosmetics, because yes, I had the trade license part, but I also have to have all the product that I import approved by the Dubai municipality, and it becomes technical. And that's the part that, to be honest, I didn't want to have to deal with, but also I think you need some knowledge to be able to do that, and also the right connections. So I was lucky. But again, I found that person really easily, because it's Dubai, and you network a little bit, and you're always going to find someone who says, I know someone who can help you, and put you in touch, and it's done. So that person did my trade license and is also helping me import products when I need it. So super easy as well.
And Nada?
Same. I mean, I can't think of a government that creates centers that helps clients to set up businesses. It's been very easy for us, and in terms of licensing, hiring. So the infrastructure is really built well to support entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I mean, I've been here for coming up to 14 years now into the UAE, and I've seen it grow in leaps and bounds. So from paper processes at the well-known trade license authorities, having to collect paper documents, to completely digitized processes, right? We have facial recognition technology, biometrics, we have EFR, we have everything stored in UAE Pass. All of these things have now come in to make the journey of opening a business much more seamless and digital and efficient for people. That's great from my perspective as the head of digital for Rakbank Business Banking, because I can consume all of these services and then put them into the digital journeys and make our banking onboarding a lot more efficient and effective for customers. So I think it's going to continue to become more digitized. You know, with the AI era, all of that stuff's going to come in. You know, we're testing in the places where we need to test them and deploying it very, very safely internally. But I think from what I've seen over the past 14 years, it's like no other jurisdiction. There are two models, right? One is you can have specialized free zones for specialized things, which I think add to this community feeling that we've talked about, or you can have one centralized one. I think the UAE has the ability to do both, and it's something that's come from conversations that we've had with other founders. We've gone through this era of insourcing things into the UAE, insourcing businesses, insourcing trade, insourcing products. All right, so we've talked about going from ideation of the company to setting up at the trade license authorities, and then starting with your idea. How have you managed the growth of your business, Nada, from that idea stage really into when you're starting to get orders? How are you managing getting interest in your business?
Okay, so because we're a service business, consistency is very important. So making sure that we set up the right systems for our employees or our coaches, for our team, to be able to deliver the same service for the clients. And it's a whole experience that we're selling. So it needs not to be perfect, obviously 100%, but we need to be close to perfect because we're offering a premium service. So making sure that everything, that our team is set up well enough to perform their job, that they have the right systems set up for them to be able to do their jobs, that we're listening to clients' feedback, that we know what's working and keep doing the right things that keep clients coming back.
So that's really interesting. I think one thing that we receive a lot of feedback on is like CRM systems, client relationship management systems. So you touched on a point there that you listen to your customer. I presume that goes into some form of system, but then you're learning and adapting to that. That's something that businesses really struggle on. So could you...
It's not an easy process, but it's something that I've been working on very passionately. So tracking what works for clients and then feeding it back, seeing how consistent or when our clients consistent, because we're in the fitness industry, and there are seasons, for example, when it's
January.
January and
Nobody's-
December, our attendance drops. So we anticipate that in advance and try to do challenges. And I remember the first year we anticipated summer to be very slow. Completely wrong. Summer was amazing for us. August last year was our best month yet. So I'm very excited about this August. So looking at your numbers is very important. Looking what did the team do well in that month? Let's do it again. And then when it's time to grow, always working on marketing. At the beginning, it's getting your content right. What resonates with people? What do people connect with? What do they share? And then, okay, now we're at a stage where we need to move on to the next stage, which is invest in ads and paid marketing. What is working there? Who's good? So bringing in new clients, since we've exhausted our pool at the moment. So really it boils down to the numbers, but you need to be ready to read them. If you're not looking in the right direction, then there's no point.
There's a lot of data points there. So you can collect. So one of the things I've seen quite a lot is a lot of collection of information. They have no idea which direction to go in, right? Because they're just looking at spreadsheets full of data. You have customers saying they're happy. There's some customers with some feedback. How do you draw the line between, being very data driven, but then also allowing for inspiration of your team? How do you review it with your team, for example?
So it depends, obviously, between case to case, but I think the team is always inspired, especially for us, because the clients give you feedback immediately. So that's what inspires the team when they receive positive feedback. And then when they receive encouragement from management as well. If you work really hard and your work goes unnoticed, you're not going to work as hard the next month or the next year. So if you're rewarded even by just saying, oh, well done. I love, for example, messaging in the WhatsApp group, in the team WhatsApp group, saying, great job to this coach or to this barista or to this receptionist. I've received this incredible feedback and I actually share the feedback. So it goes a long way when you raise the morale of the team. That's number one. And then when they see their work actually benefiting people, we have, for example, clients that come to us and say SpinUp has helped me through my depression. SpinUp has done this for me. I've lost 20 kgs since I've started spinning in the studio. This place feels like home. So that all gives you momentum. And then again, focusing on what's work. For example, if today we do this challenge and it didn't work so well and didn't sell, okay, then we do it again. It's a learning curve, and it's okay to make mistakes and make offers that clients don't take, but then that means you're one offer closer to the one that they'll take,
And I guess anchoring all of that to a core purpose or a single North Star. What is the North Star of your company?
I would say our mission is to help people become a stronger version and a happier version of themselves, while making sure, obviously, that they're safe. Because, in sports, you need to make sure people are set up safely, that they enjoy the workout, but they're also benefiting from the workout, that every time they leave the door, they feel stronger than the day before, the week before, the month before.
That's amazing. And Claire, what about you? How have you managed your various stages of growth?
There's two things, there's the customer, exactly, and your mission at heart, and there's the numbers. When you're about to launch or the beginning, you can redo your business plan again and again and again and play with those numbers and feel very comfortable with your pretty spreadsheet. But the reality is, until you actually start, I honestly think I spent too long on a useless spreadsheet business plan. I think it boils down to being very disciplined once you start in looking at your burn rate, your cash rate. What can I actually afford to do? How much does it cost me to actually run? Personally, I'm still trying to keep it very lean. So I haven't hired anyone, for example. I work with a lot of freelancers or agencies or partners, but I'm still a solo entrepreneur for now.
That's a conscious choice, right?
It is. And I know that it will have its limits, but for now, this is what I'm comfortable doing. And then it goes down exactly to what choice do you do? Do I take, first of all, what do I have the time to do? And then where do I invest? Is it going to be paid ads, for example? So it's that constant balance of what can I afford doing? And then there's a lot of trial and error of trying to, okay,
particularly with paid ads.
Definitely. It's been a journey. And
we get a lot of feedback about Google Ads.
It's tricky, paid ads. I'm still trying, putting some out there, seeing the feedback, trying again. But for me, I think back to customer feedback, I once received that email. So I noticed a customer placed an order and didn't use the discount code that you can have on the website. Any new customers allowed the discount code to as a welcome, which is pretty standard. That person didn't use it. I sent her an email saying, hey, thank you so much for your order. Really appreciate it. By the way, I saw you didn't use it. So here's a personalized one for you. So for your next order, you'll be able to have it. And she answered me saying, first of all, that I never see that level of service.
No, large companies miss this level of stuff, right?
And I'm aware that this is something I can do now. And I will have to figure out how can I still be able to offer that kind of service when I'm bigger, right? And there's way more orders. But I'm very happy I did that. And then she told me, like, she was really happy. And then she told me, like, I'm so happy you created that place because since I'm pregnant, I've been looking for those kind of products and I couldn't find them. So then I even got feedback that because when you launch something, you're convinced it's useful, but hearing it from customers and actually happy with it, this is what makes it all worth it.
No, it's amazing that I think a lot of people would struggle to maintain that level of personalization and, being close to the customer as they grow. I guess the perception is that you grow apart from that because it becomes an automated or a mechanical kind of system.
And for me, this is my brand. I'm starting this to help people, to help women. And every time I meet someone, I'm like, please DM me on Instagram. And I'm having conversation all the time where they're sharing, hey, I'm using this. What do you think? And I know it's not scalable because at some point I won't be able to answer all those messages. And I'm actually working now on how tech can help. How can you keep the human touch, but also scale what can be scalable and optimize these relationships? But to me, this is what keeps me going, and I actually enjoy those moments. So I choose personally to spend time on this, which means you're not doing something else in the meantime. For sure, it's always a balancing act, isn't it?
And about how have you managed your stages of growth?
So I think something I've learned to do is and that's delegation. You can't grow without delegating. You really can't grow. I was very involved in the production. But then in order to scale, in order to go out, speak to people, do one of the other jobs I'm supposed to be doing, I had to delegate. And in the food business, you're something I've been working for so long on. I'm like giving it to somebody.
It's your baby, right?
It's my baby, but I have to trust with. And but you have to delegate, I think, to scale it as you grow.
It's amazing that you've navigated that, right? Because a lot of the businesses we see, people are almost burnt out trying to get the thing up and running because they're not delegating, because they're trying to do every part of the business. I think a core part of it is understanding what your strength is and what your contribution to the business is, where is your time best spent, and then identifying people that can then support that system.
And as we wear our multiple hats, you have to, in my line of business, what I need to be doing is selling the product, finding new partners to work with, finding, just be out there wherever I can delegate. I'm trying to delegate.
And I guess the question to all of you, are there parts of the business that you actively steer away from on any given day?
You mean trying to avoid?
Yes. It's actually fascinating that you haven't jumped to an immediate answer.
That's a very hard question.
I thought it would be an immediate finances, doing the books.
I'm a bit of a analytical nerd, so actually I come from a marketing background in corporate, so doing like dashboards and analytics and understanding what works and what doesn't. And also in my job, I mean, I literally have to turn every label and read every ingredients to decide if something is clean or not and is going to make it to the website. So I have to go into every detail. So I actually enjoy that part.
Now, I had
Really
doing
enjoying it
scheduling for the shifts, for example. I stopped doing that a while ago. I dedicated it to someone else. I'm not doing it again. Dealing with suppliers. Oh my God.
Yeah? Difficult?
Yes, it can be. And when you're managing, at the beginning, you have to do it as an entrepreneur, obviously. But then hopefully as the team grows, because it gets hectic here. There's so many conversations to keep track of, dates, deliveries, and stuff like that. So
I agree. I was going to say logistics. And there is one thing when I have events or pop-ups and I have to plan everything and go from A to B and I'm
Very
by myself
tedious.
carrying boxes and things. This is not the most glamorous and fun part. But yeah, it has to be done.
Great stuff. Because Rakbank has a significant portion of the SME market. So we did a lot of data and we have a lot of female-led businesses. So it's over 10% of our actual portfolio. So sole female entrepreneurs. We wanted to do something very specific for them. Market research, understanding what's in the market, understand where the gaps are, and we discovered two main themes, right? One is that from the surface of it, the needs of a female entrepreneur and a male entrepreneur are basically the same. What we found in our research was that women were craving community. They were craving the support mechanisms that are available in the UAE, and connecting those two things together could be very, very powerful. So that's why we led with the package, and we hope it will be a success. We're launching it tonight.
Ah, okay.
Congratulations.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Big. Okay.
And it's going to be a fully supported product. It will evolve over time. We'll connect it to other things that we're working on as well, from a digital and a physical perspective. And we really hope that it's a successful product.
Nice. I think it will be.
I'm in already.
I have a question.
Sure.
Because I would easily just switch to Rakbank, but this would be how about your payroll?
Mm-hmm. So we have payroll.
Yeah.
We have wage protection system automated through our digital banking.
Okay, so I can do it as a business owner myself?
100%. So you can go on our web-based platform or mobile, and you can, run all of your payroll through that system. It's the government. All the payroll in the UAE is run by the WPS system. We're upgrading it continuously alongside our government partners as well. But it's a key product for us as well. It's very important we get that right.
For me, that's like a selling point. Like, can we do digital or like online payroll?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
When it comes to growth in your business, having a human when something goes wrong, speaking to an RM, speaking from a service perspective, that's why we were very, very proud of our tagline, which is digital with a human touch. So we're there. We're open for business. We're digital. But when you need to speak to a human, you can speak to a human.
Find them.
Yeah. So we have a very, very good relationship management unit. Every customer gets an RM. So you have a physical person that you can call, you can speak to. And this has been really, really important during the recent crisis that we've been through. Customers have obviously had questions, they're nervous, they want something urgent or immediate to happen to their account, and they can get through to us across different service lines. So we're pushing very, very hard on the digital side, so it's really good for me, but also on the physical and omni-channel approach, we're always there and we're always open. But from a support perspective, what types of things do you think would have helped you early on in your journey? What about you?
We're family and friends who I was able to reach out to. They are people with experience in what I'm working in. People who I was starting something that I hadn't worked in before. So it was great having them there, just a phone call away to call up and be like, hi, can you help me out? So mentorship, for sure.
I was lucky that I had one mentor, a person that has its own startup and was in corporate before. And when I shared my idea, he really kindly helped me structure things and just brainstorm things. So that helped. It would be great to have access to the same, but in a more maybe structured manner with more mentors, depending on the topics that you want to address as well, or the network that you need, because I do believe that, I think it's true anywhere, but it's really true here. The network and the people are going to make a huge difference. Yeah. Not only in your success, but how quickly maybe you can move things. So I'm lucky I had that person, but I think I would have loved to have something a bit more structured, a bit bigger in terms of reach to certain mentors. And then capital. And I've known that from the start. I know that I'm going to need to raise funds to be able to scale up, because the skincare and beauty industry is just that competitive that the brands I'm competing with have budgets that I will never be able to match if I don't raise funds. And it's not just that. I want to add a tech layer. There's so much that I would love to do. That being said, raising funds is an art in itself. Again, it goes back to also the network that you have. And it's almost a full-time job in the sense of preparing. I went to pitch nights, it's both frightening and very exciting. It takes a lot of work to prep. It takes a lot of involvement and work to spend the time doing those pitch nights, for example, and meeting investors and, again, networking. How do you run that and your business at the same time? So having that answers to those questions, first of all, but then maybe also easy way to access capital and how to navigate those first rounds would be super useful.
How did you find getting access to capital, either through... Obviously, you're looking at venture capital in certain instances, but then through the banking system.
So if I'm honest, I haven't done a deep dive, but what I heard didn't encourage me looking into it more. First of all, a lot of people told me, and I don't know if that's true, that you needed to have a 5-year track record to have a like a good loan.
Instead of banks, not Rakbank.
So, well, see, there you go. So you need to be out there. So I didn't even, I was like, okay, I'm just starting. And also there is something a bit frightening at the idea of taking a loan when you don't know if it's going to work or not. Committing to a loan, to me, is not really something that I felt like ready for.
Yeah.
But maybe if I had answered to those questions, or if there was somewhere where you can go and ask those questions and see what are the different options and what happens, for example, if you cannot pay back your loan, because for me, this is where my brain goes directly, it could be helpful, definitely.
I guess it's the marrying in those two things, right? From the founder and the business's perspective, they need to be sure that, okay, I'm now ready for this level of financing. But then I think there's a lot of work for banks to do on making the financing journeys a lot easier. It's something that we're very, very proud of, and we put a lot of time and effort into. We're one of the predominant lenders to small businesses in the UAE. We lend in degrees of magnitude more than other banks, and we've remained open through the toughest times. So it's something that we've really built our business on. In Q1 this year, we loaned 1.5 billion to businesses in the UAE. It's a huge amount when other banks are retracting because of obviously the environment they're in and things that are happening geopolitically. But we have a full and broad range of products from a financial perspective, whether it's secured, unsecured, or partially secured. We've just launched a new loan against your property type product. So we've got a wide range of things that SMEs can pick from that hopefully make them a little less nervous when they're looking to take that big step when it comes to financing. All right, so rapid fire questions that we prepared in advance. Nada, we'll start with you. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Sure. Yeah, just relax.
Very good. Very good advice. Claire?
Surround yourself with the community as soon as you can.
Annabelle?
I think don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Those are all excellent pieces of advice. Coffee meeting with any entrepreneur. Who would you like to have coffee with?
Founder of Whoop.
Her name is Juliette Levy. She created Oh My Cream, which is it launched her website and stores in France in beauty. And now she has a whole network, and she builds a really cool ecosystem. So I would love to sit with her and pick her brain.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think it'll be the founder of the RX Bar. His name is Peter Rahal. It's an American brand that went viral. He did his story is inspiring, and how one change that he did to his packaging just.
What was the change to the packaging?
He simplified it. He removed everything.
Yeah.
Left 4 lines on it, saying exactly what's in it, and it went viral.
Oh, wow. Okay. One book that everybody should read?
Delivering Happiness. It's the person who built, I think it was a platform for shoes, if I'm not mistaken, this huge website in the US. And it became almost a competitor to Amazon and had those huge run of investments. And his story is a bunch of up and down and going all in. But at the heart of everything, it was always going back to the customer. Is the customer happy? Can we do better by the customer? And how it worked, even if it was a lot of a difficult journey. And it's really inspiring.
I might pick that one up.
This one's for founders. I think it'll be the Lean Startup.
I love the Lean Startup. Teaches you about how to MVP, minimum viable product. Something that we use a lot in technical development. What is the smallest workable version? It's now called Lovable Product. I think they've evolved it a little bit. What is the smallest version of the product that you would like to launch to the market? How can you get that out?
As soon as possible.
Without overcomplicate. It teaches you not to overcomplicate your ideas and spend all the time thinking about it and iterating before launching. Because it says that the best way to find out whether you got product market fit is to put it in front of customers and just ask them. And it seems that 99% of people don't do that when they start companies. They just spend all of the time doing the spreadsheets. One app that you can't run your business without?
Google Drive.
Yeah, fair.
Google Drive, Google Workspace for sure. But also our booking system. Yeah, our booking system.
Might be
because I can
less
replace,
efficient if you didn't have that.
Yeah, I can replace our booking system and our drives, shared drives.
For me, that would be Whisper Flow.
Whisperflow.
It's that AI app that transcribes everything you say. So I used to, when I studied LLMs, I used to type on ChatGPT to explain what I wanted. Man, what a waste of time. Whisperflow, I just talk. So I'm that person in a cafe who talks to her computer. And even if I talk in a low voice, it catches everything. And instead of like typing 5 lines, I get 10 and half the time. And it's just so much more efficient. And you get way better results from Claude because you just give so much more details.
Yeah, and it's storing that and learning each iteration.
So Whisperflow, and then it's on my phone. So when I send very long WhatsApps, I feel very sorry because I just forgot. I assume it's a voice note, and then I'm just on Whisperflow, and then it just pastes the whole message. But I love it.
Very good.
I think it's Claude is one, and Sheets, Excel or Google Sheets, or just my life is running on Sheets at the moment. So.
And have you used Claude to connect them all together? They're learning from each other.
They are. They are. They are. The Crunchmoms are helping with that.
Okay. Final question. One word that defines entrepreneurship for you.
Messy.
Recalibration.
I think it's resilience. Resilience. You have to be resilient. Whatever comes your way, you have to try again. You have to try a different way. You have to.
What a way to end. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure listening to your stories and having you share your insights with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank
you.
Great. Thank you.